Ever since the deployment of the newly forged strike team with Operation Medic Bag, players have been asking many questions in regards to Payday 3's future. The main question on everyone's minds right now is, what exactly is going on over there at Starbreeze Studios? Are they actually fixing the game? What's the future looking like for Payday 3? Can it still succeed despite its awful situation right now? Well, recently, I flew to Stockholm, Sweden to not only meet the devs in person, but to get some insight into what's coming next for the game, what's being cooked up, but more importantly, to get some answers to some of the questions listed above. The main question obviously being overall, just what exactly is going on over there at Starbreeze. That was ultimately the goal of this trip, alongside the goal for this video too. I went over there with an open-minded and level-headed approach, prepared to ask and answer questions surrounding the situation at hand. This video is ultimately going to be going over my entire experience whilst being over there at Starbreeze, the good and the bad. But really quick, let's jump into my intentions of the visit, because I feel like that's very important. For some transparency, I'm in the same camp as everyone else when it comes to Payday 3. The game is in a dire state, lacking content, quality of life features, and many user-accessible and player-friendly implementations. But the reason for this trip simply wasn't because I had some holiday to book off work to see an amazing city like Stockholm, but I was also there to get another pair of eyes on things. Talking about the game through various videos and streams, discussing my pros and cons of the game, playtesting upcoming updates and features is already a great step when it comes to giving the developers feedback. But being able to be there firsthand, meeting them in person, sharing certain ideas face to face and vice versa, wasn't only just a huge honour and a privilege, but in return became a very interesting learning experience for me, especially when it comes to games development as a whole. You don't need to be working in the industry to know that games development is hard. Like, really hard. And how? I'm just a guy who makes videos on them. What do I know about making games? Not an awful lot. However, what I hoped to have offered going over there was my experience in the Payday series, as someone who's been a part of the community for the past 10 years, and someone who's been making content on the game for the past 8 years. And so my primary intentions for the visit was simply to express those feelings, as I feel like we are all in the same boat here, the developers included. And I hope that will also debunk the inevitable paid shill comments. The trip was funded by myself, and in many cases some of the very generous patrons of the channel who have donated and gifted to the channel. You know who you are. So with that intro out the way, and with my intentions of the visit solidified, let's finally talk about my experience and visit to Starbreeze Studios. First things first, right off the bat, I wanted to just say a huge thank you to Starbreeze for welcoming me with open arms, and especially a massive thank you to Elizabeth for not just making me feel wanted and welcomed, but also for being a fantastic tour guide when it came to everything, not just Starbreeze, but Stockholm as a whole. And that goes for everyone over there at Starbreeze. I've been given the chance to see what's been cooking up over there from a lot of the devs, and I met so many people there, it was really hard to keep track of names. I'm really sorry, but you know who you are. From the bottom of my heart, please keep your heads down and keep on working. There's some really good stuff in the oven right now, and from the interactions that I've had with you all, I can tell you lot really care about this game. And after being shown what's been cooking, I could tell the team is fully focused and dedicated to fixing this game. And that was especially the case when I had the privilege of talking face to face with some of the big dogs in the yard. First up, the main man himself, Almir Listo. I never thought 10 years ago I'd be sat in class watching him get a pie to the face, to have him on one of my projects, to then be standing side by side posing for an album cover worthy photo. Being able to have a one-on-one talk with Almir about all things Payday, both past and present, was a real blast, reminiscing on the old days and the new days, both good and, well, bad of course. What I mean by bad of course is that I didn't really hold back when it came to my thoughts on the game. I was very negative, I was constructive, and I gave them a lot of tough love. Although I can't get into many specifics, not because I can't talk about it, but simply because we covered so much during our talk. It was a blast to talk with Almir. Hopefully the next time we speak, the situation will be much different to what it is now. I then briefly spoke with Mio and Andreas. They too were very open to criticism. I've not been a massive fan of some of the changes, especially in the Department of Health and Armor, and after speaking to Mio for a decent amount of time, it seems like his ideas for adaptive armor and the new skill line coming down the road are really going to appeal to the new and the old Payday players in terms of playstyles. The regenerative armor of Payday 2 mixed with Payday 3's armor chunk system. The new skill line is yet to be announced, but from what I have playtested, I think it's going to be a welcome addition to the game, alongside many other fixes coming in the future. I spoke to many devs during my time there and offered as much feedback as I could think of. Some of it was good, but a lot of it was some rather tough love. Overall, I told everyone exactly what the community is thinking and is already saying, directly to their faces. I have given them some tough love and they need it so badly. Since launch, I feel like for the most part I've just been non-stop giving these guys such a hard time. But for myself and many others in the community, it's all from a place of love. We want the game to succeed. For a lot of us, we need the game to succeed. Payday has helped me through a lot of personal struggles of mine and in a lot of other people's lives as well. It's a community who are honest with their emotions and feelings towards the game, and the devs are fully on board and are aware of that, and they have been since the very beginning. When they do well, we praise them, and if they do bad, we give them hell for it, and rightly so. We are the reason they have a business after all. So when our voices feel like they are not being heard, that's when we get very upset. There have been some stuff out of their control, sure. However, with that stuff aside, they have fucked up and they're working on making things right, hence Operation Medic Bag. The community seems to be very split when it comes to the understanding of what Operation Medic Bag truly is. Is this an operation to bring more content to the game? No. Not at all. The main focus with this operation is to simply fix the bloody game. They could have easily just pumped the game with heaps of heists, weapons and cosmetics. However, the game right now in its current state is lacking so many basic features that should have been available at launch. I'm going to give you guys a new perspective on things. Let's say the launch went swimmingly, the servers held up, people could play the game without any issues. If this was the reality, Operation Medic Bag would not exist of course. But because of the disastrous launch, people became much more critical of the game, meaning that once we all started taking off our rose-tinted glasses, we could start seeing all of the cracks in the game. Hang on a minute, why is there no voice chat? Why can't I even unready in the lobbies? Why can't I rename my loadouts? Why is the game so poorly optimized at times? Why is there no solo mode or an offline mode? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Simply put, I believe Payday 3's launch was a blessing and a curse in many ways, as it's amplified the community's ability to spot these glaring problems staring at us in the face. That's not to excuse the lack of these features though, at all. Don't get me twisted. So now with me fully summarising my thoughts on the operation and its intentions, now let's talk about how the team is and needs to go about this. At the moment, we are just sick to death of waiting, but at the same time, we are also just tired of all the talking. There just needs to be more action. So overall, when it comes to Operation Medic Bag and the stuff they are focusing on to hopefully get finished and implemented in a timely manner, as soon as those things are in the game, the more receptive we will be of new content in the future. What I essentially mean by this is that hopefully in the future, when the ease of play and entry barrier improves, for example, quick play, a CrimeNet server browser, offline mode, the more the community will want to hop back into the game, as the entry barrier has now lowered and it's much easier for players to do so. Because right now, there are so many small problems stopping players from simply getting into a heist. And once again, to hammer the point home, they know this. They hear us loud and clear and they are working their asses off from what I have seen in person. We deserve a better sequel than what we have now and they are working their asses off to make that happen. I just really hope that they can stick to the plan in the initial focus, get all that stuff out the door as soon as possible and continue to work past that. Because remember, the initial focus is simply the stuff they want to have done by the summer. If they can get it done before then, brilliant. The sooner they can move on to the next focus points of the operation. And I really hope they can focus on the right stuff. And from what I've seen and from what they have communicated, I believe they are on the right path. They just need to execute it in a proper and timely manner. And that was my visit to Starbreeze Studios. Yapping levels went off the charts, I know, but I just really wanted to make this video, not just for myself, but for the community as a whole. And honestly, I feel like this video and trip and visit was very much needed. I hope this video has been somewhat helpful to those who are wondering exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Although I can't just explicitly just come out here and tell you what is cooking, I hope that I can just reassure people that they are working over there. I wanted to make sure that I kept a very level head for this video. I could have easily have gone down the route of doom posting and shitting on the game. And granted, yes, I've done so many times and to the developers' faces. However, that's just not really going to get us anywhere. What we need to do now is just simply wait. They've talked the talk, now they got to walk the walk. Let's see if they can back up their talk with some action. And yes, I'm talking directly to you, Starbreeze. Back your talk up with some action. It's all good saying that you have a plan, you have a roadmap, but please follow through with it. And on that note, I'm going to end the video there. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions regarding my trip to Sweden, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'll make sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. If you're ever in Stockholm and need a beer, I recommend the Liffey. The Guinness is fucking sublime.